Her voice carried a weight that instantly caught everyone's attention. In just a few short minutes, Amber Marshall's August update sent a ripple through the Heartland fanbase. It wasn't what she said directly, it was the way she said it. There was warmth in her smile, but also a softness in her tone that made it feel like she was holding back deeper emotions. Fans who have followed Amber for years know she's usually upbeat and casual in these updates, but this one felt different, almost as if she wanted to share something big, but couldn't say it outright just yet. That's exactly why this small piece of news has exploded into one of the biggest talking points ahead of Heartland Season 19. Because if you've been watching closely, you'll know Amber doesn't drop hints by accident. Amber August update came through a short but heartfelt video she posted on her social media. On the surface, it was a friendly check and she talked about how filming for Season 19 was going, how the summer weather had been treating the crew, and how she's been enjoying the quieter moments between scenes. But when you break down her words and her delivery, something stands out. She mentioned that the current season feels different in a way that's hard to explain, and that fans should prepare themselves for moments that will stay with them long after the credits roll. That's not the kind of language she uses lightly. In past updates, she's been careful to keep spoilers under wraps, but here she seemed to be planting seeds for something emotionally heavy. She also spoke about the incredible bond between the cast this year, saying it felt closer than ever, as if everyone knew they were working on something truly special. That kind of closeness often comes during seasons where the storylines challenge the characters in unexpected ways. Amber's eyes lit up when she talked about certain upcoming scenes, but there were moments when her voice dipped ever so slightly, almost as if the memories of filming them stirred something deeper. For longtime viewers, those small pauses and emotional inflections are the exact kind of signs that a major turning point could be on the way. It's also worth noting that she thanked the fans several times during the update, more than usual. While gratitude is always part of her messages, this time it felt layered, almost like she was acknowledging the role viewers have played in the journey so far, while quietly hinting that they're about to witness a chapter that will mean a lot to her personally. When Amber leans into that emotional connection with fans, it often means the show is heading into storylines that are deeply tied to Amy's heart, whether it's about family, love, or loss. And judging from the way she framed her words, it's clear that whatever is coming in Season 19 is going to leave an impact not just on Amy, but on everyone who has grown with her over the years. Amber August update might have seemed casual at first glance, but when you slow it down and really study what she shared, it's like peeling back layers of a carefully wrapped gift. She didn't just give a standard behind-the-scenes look. Every detail she chose to mention, and even the order she mentioned it in, felt intentional. For example, she started by talking about the weather on set, something light and ordinary, but quickly shifted into describing how the season's filming feels different this time around. That transition wasn't random. It's the kind of storytelling trick actors sometimes use when they want to hint at something bigger without saying it outright. It's almost like she was easing the audience into the idea that Season 19 is not business as usual. One of the most telling moments came when Amber described working on a few scenes that were so powerful, she had to take a quiet walk after filming them just to collect herself. Think about that. This is someone who has been playing Amy Fleming for nearly 2 decades, someone who has tackled emotional scenes time and time again. For her to say these particular moments hit her harder than usual, that's a major clue. It suggests that the stakes in these episodes aren't just high for the characters, they're deeply personal for the actors too. And when the actors feel it, the audience usually does too. She also made a point to praise the younger cast members, saying they've been bringing so much heart to their performances. While that could be a simple compliment, in the context of Heartland, it might mean the younger characters are stepping into bigger storylines, possibly taking on more emotional weight than we've seen before. This could be a sign that Amy isn't the only one going through transformative changes this season. The way Amber spoke about them almost sounded protective, like she's proud of how they've handled challenging material. Even her physical cues during the update tell a story. At certain points, she leaned forward slightly, lowering her voice just enough to make it feel intimate, as if she were speaking directly to each fan watching. It created this subtle "you're in on this with me" feeling, which only makes the mystery stronger. These kinds of deliberate choices, both in her words and her body language, are why fans are dissecting every second of her message. Because when Amber steps outside her usual upbeat rhythm and adds layers of emotion and intrigue, it's rarely without purpose. Season 19 is shaping up to be one of the most emotionally charged seasons yet, and her August update was the first quiet drumbeat before the real storm hits. Sometimes it's not the words that give everything away, it's the spaces between them. Amber August update was full of these quiet, unspoken moments that Heartland fans have been quick to pick up on. The slight pause before she described the season as different. The way her smile softened when she talked about the cast being closer than ever. The almost imperceptible sigh when she hinted that certain scenes would stay with viewers long after the credits roll. These aren't random habits. They're emotional tells, little glimpses into the feelings she may not be able to fully share yet. For fans who've watched Amber for years, these tiny shifts in tone feel like flashing signs that something big, possibly bittersweet, is on the horizon for season 19. Her choice of language is another major clue. In past updates, Amber often uses upbeat, simple phrases to describe filming, words like fun, busy, or amazing, but this time, her words had a deeper emotional weight. She talked about impact, connection, and lasting moments. Those aren't just throwaway descriptors, they're words that carry a sense of permanence, as if the events unfolding this season won't just pass by but will leave a mark on the characters and the audience alike. This kind of vocabulary shift often signals that the storylines ahead are rooted in emotional transformation, not just everyday drama. Fans have also noted her body language when certain topics came up. When she spoke about the incredible bond on set, she placed her hand over her heart, a small but telling gesture. It's almost as if she was silently saying, "This matters to me more than you know." And when she mentioned the moments that made her take a walk after filming, her eyes briefly shifted downward, a natural reflex when recalling something personally moving. These micro-expressions are subtle, but for devoted viewers, they speak volumes. Another emotional clue comes from the way she connected her gratitude to the fans with her comments about the season. She didn't just thank viewers for watching, she thanked them for growing with the show and for being part of the journey. That phrasing feels layered, almost like she's acknowledging that this chapter might be a turning point, not just for Amy, but for the series as a whole. In television, moments like this often arrive before a season that changes the trajectory of a character's life forever. And given Amber's history of sharing emotional breadcrumbs before major plot shifts like the lead-up to Ty's storyline years ago, her August update feels like another carefully planted trail of hints. When you line up Amber August hints with the patterns Heartland has followed in the past, a picture starts to form, and it's one that could signal some of the most dramatic storylines we've seen in years. Her choice of phrases like "prepare yourselves" and "lasting moments" suggests that season 19 might be about more than just new horses, ranch challenges, or small-town milestones. It feels like we're heading into a chapter where the stakes are deeply personal, where choices will echo far beyond a single episode. One of the biggest theories floating around after her update is the possibility of a major character return or a heartbreaking farewell. Amber comments about the cast feeling closer than ever could point to the return of a familiar face, someone whose presence changes the entire dynamic of the ranch. On the flip side, that closeness might be the result of the cast rallying around a storyline that involves loss or separation. Heartland has always thrived on balancing joy with sorrow, and the way Amber's tone wavered during her update makes it hard to ignore the possibility of an emotionally charged goodbye. Her praise for the younger cast also hints at a generational shift. If characters like Lindy, Katie, or Parker are stepping into bigger arcs, it could mean that season 19 will explore storylines where they face life-changing decisions or unexpected responsibilities. This might mirror Amy's own journey from earlier seasons, creating a sense of full-circle storytelling that longtime fans will recognize and appreciate. Then there's the way she described filming certain scenes, moments so intense that she needed to walk them off. This isn't just about acting through sadness. It's the kind of reaction that comes from tackling material that challenges the heart of a character. Could this mean Amy will be forced to confront a decision tied to Ty's legacy? Perhaps a storyline involving his memory, their daughter's future, or even a new relationship that tests her loyalty to the past. Any of these would fit the lasting moments promise Amber teased. And finally, there's the mystery of her comment about the season feeling different. In Heartland terms, different often means we're stepping outside the usual rhythm of ranch life. This could mean a time jump, a location change, or a season where a single event like a crisis in the community or a personal challenge redefines everyone's priorities. If Amber hints are pointing in this direction, Season 19 might not just be another chapter. It could be the season that reshapes the entire future of Heartland. The moment Amber August update hit social media, Heartland fans wasted no time turning it into the hottest topic in the fandom. Within hours, Instagram comments, Reddit, threads, and Facebook fan groups were flooded with speculation. Some fans clung to optimism, convinced that her emotional tone meant a beloved character was finally returning. Others braced themselves for heartbreak, reading her words as a quiet warning that something or someone they love about the show might be leaving for good. That split in the fanbase has created a buzzing tension, almost like the countdown to a storm no one can predict. On Twitter, fans started dissecting her update frame by frame. One slowed-down clip of her pausing after the word different has been shared hundreds of times, with captions like "She knows something big" and "This is not a normal Amber pause." A popular Heartland podcast even released an emergency mini-episode just to discuss her phrasing and body language, calling it the most loaded fan update in years. The level of attention this single post has generated is unlike anything we've seen since the run-up to Ty's final storyline. Some theories have gone into bold territory. A group of fans on Reddit believes that Amy might be facing a life-changing opportunity outside of Hudson, something that could set up a season-long debate about whether she should leave the ranch. Others think the emotional weight might tie to Lindy stepping into her first major conflict, forcing Amy to guide her through something incredibly personal. And then there's the most dramatic theory that Season 19 could close a chapter of the Heartland story entirely, paving the way for a new era. Even the cast's subtle social media interactions have poured fuel on the fire. Michelle Morgan liked Amber update within minutes of it going live, and Sean Johnston commented with a cryptic "couldn't have said it better," which only deepened the mystery. In the Heartland fandom, these tiny details aren't overlooked, they're magnified. Viewers have learned over the years that the cast often communicates in subtle winks and nods before big reveals. The most striking part of this reaction wave is how personal it feels for fans. Heartland isn't just a TV show to them, it's a world they've lived in for nearly 2 decades. So when Amber, the heart of that world, drops an emotionally charged update like this, it's more than just entertainment news. It feels like a message from a friend, hinting that a major change is coming. And for a fandom this passionate, that means every post, every theory, and every shared clip becomes part of the build-up to what could be the most talked about season yet. When you step back from the flurry of fan reactions and look at Amber August update in the bigger context of Heartland's long history, it starts to feel less like a simple behind-the-scenes check-in and more like a carefully timed turning point. Heartland has always played the long game with its storytelling, weaving emotional beats across seasons so that small seeds planted in one year grow into life-changing arcs later. Amber tone, word choice, and those subtle pauses suggest this season might be one of those pivotal moments where the narrative shifts course, possibly for years to come. If her hints are as intentional as they seem, Season 19 could be about more than just the events that unfold on screen. It might represent a transition in the show's identity itself. For nearly 2 decades, Heartland has centered around Amy's journey, her love for horses, her family bonds, and her resilience through loss. But Amber's emphasis on the younger cast, the different feeling on set, and the idea of lasting moments could mean the show is slowly preparing to pass the emotional torch. Not necessarily saying goodbye to Amy, but perhaps building a structure where the next generation begins to share equal weight in the storytelling. This kind of shift would fit Heartland's style perfectly: quiet but meaningful, respectful to the past while looking toward the future. It's the same way the show handled transitions before: Jack stepping back from certain responsibilities, Lou growing into her leadership role, or Tim finding purpose beyond the ranch. Each change didn't erase the characters, it expanded the story's possibilities. Season 19 could be doing the same, but on a much larger scale. There's also the possibility that Amber's different season is tied to a thematic change. Heartland's strongest seasons have always been built on a core emotional truth: healing, rebuilding, finding home. If this season is about legacy, then everything Amy and her family face could be framed around what they want to leave behind. That theme could open the door for plot lines involving Lindy's future, Ty's memory, and even the ranch's long-term survival. It's the kind of narrative that forces characters to make decisions that ripple through generations, something Heartland excels at. And from a production standpoint, Amber Update might also be a signal to fans that the creators are aware of how important this moment is. When an actor who has embodied a role for nearly 20 years speaks with this much care and emotional weight, it's often because they know the story they're telling will become part of the show's defining legacy. Whether that means heartbreak, joy, or a mix of both, Season 19 may very well be the season that redefines what Heartland is and where it goes next. If Amber August Update was the first drop, then what's coming next could be the full storm, and fans can feel it. The beauty of her message is that it didn't hand us answers. It gave us just enough to ignite a fire of speculation. Every pause, every careful word choice, and every flicker of emotion felt like part of a larger puzzle. And right now, we're all standing at the edge, waiting to see which way the pieces will fall. Will this be a season of reunions that heal old wounds, or one that forces the Heartland family to face a goodbye we're not ready for? Will it bring a shift that opens a bold new chapter, or will it leave us clinging to the traditions that have held this story together for nearly 2 decades? What makes the anticipation so electric is the uncertainty. Heartland has always thrived on delivering emotional payoffs that feel both unexpected and inevitable. And Amber words, especially those hints about lasting moments, carry the weight of something we'll still be talking about years from now. This could be the season that redefines Amy's future, reshapes the ranch's legacy, or cements the next generation's place at the center of the story. Whatever it is, the quiet intensity in Amber Update makes it clear this isn't just another year in Hudson. Something fundamental is about to change. For fans, the next few weeks will be a waiting game, dissecting every cast interview, every behind-the-scenes photo, every cryptic Instagram story. The build-up itself has become part of the experience, sharing theories, debating possibilities, and holding our collective breath until the first episodes drop. And maybe that's exactly what Amber wanted, to make us feel connected to this moment before we've even seen a single frame of it. One thing is certain: when the curtain finally lifts on Season 19, we'll all remember where we were when Amber first hinted at what was coming. Whether it leaves us smiling through tears or sitting in stunned silence, this season is already shaping up to be one for the history books. And until that first episode airs, the question will hang in the air like the last note of a song you can't stop humming. What did Amber mean? And are we truly ready for it?